Welcome everybody to Scott Cooks. If you ever heard me say, the more ingredients, the better the dish, well, if you haven't, I'm going to say it tonight because that's a lot of ingredients. You see some stuff on there you can't even see. But there's some of my favorite stuff here. Apples, Honeycrisp, Leeks. One of my all-time favorite foods is leeks. I've got chicken thighs, apple cider vinegar, this pink wine, chicken broth, avocado oil. We're gonna put all this together, and we're gonna do a braised chicken thigh with leeks and apples. This is gonna be some kind of good. I decided to use my Ninja Combi tonight. I have lots of options to do this in, but I think the Combi is gonna do it best. So let's get started. All right, guys, I like to start with the prep first and just get it out of the way. So we're going to need one bunch of leeks. If we can figure out how to get them apart. Okay, we'll just pull that apart. There we go. So we're going to use one of these bunches of leeks. I love leeks. These will definitely get used for another meal. Okay, a leek, like a lot of vegetables, these grow, they have a root and it's been cut off, but these grow down in the ground, and what that means is that sometimes they'll bring dirt and sand and stuff up into them. So to remedy that, what I like to do is cut these off. Now we're going to use these, okay, don't get rid of them, and I like to split it right down the middle, and that way you can run this under the sink and just kind of flare it out. I'm going to show you right there. See that? Let me make sure you can see that. Let me move over to the camera. See that? That's what we do. So we run some cold water on these and get all that dirt and grit out of there, because that gives a really bad texture to it. Let's cut the bottom of the roots off while we're at it. And let's go ahead and clean those up. All right, now these I just cut loose. I'm going to cut the tops away. And we'll wash them and then dice up the rest of those. So let's get these under the sink. Now these don't have any dirt on them, but still got to wash everything. What we're going to do is cut these up like so and get them over in the bowl. Even the smell of the leeks is good to me. I love them. I've got some pretty cool recipes for leeks. I've even tried to grow these before in my own garden back in Virginia. I'll just be honest, I did not have any success, but I did give it a good try. Onions, I did very well on onions, very well on celery, carrots. Oh my gosh, my soil was so good for those things, but for some reason, my leeks, the rest top of those, my leeks never made it. I don't understand why. But it's okay. Okay, now our next thing that I like to just go ahead and get done out of the way is we're going to peel these apples, cut them up, chop them into little cubes. I sure like to have one of those cooking channels where everything is already cut and prepped for me, because they have a little staff doing that. But here on my channel, I do it all myself. Okay, while I've been doing this prepping, I've got my Ninja Combi preheating over there to 425 on bake mode, and we'll be using the pan. I'm going to start with a little oil. This is avocado. So avocado or olive, because we want to be browning the chicken on our next step. Okay. So we're gonna get this chicken browned up a little bit, then we're gonna pull it back out and then work on the other items. Chicken thighs. I want skin down. Start the browning process. Looks like there's 4 good sized thighs in this package. And we're gonna let that combi get good and hot, 425. We're gonna pop these in, brown them up on both sides, and then pull them back out. When your Ninja Combi has finished preheating, it says add food, which is exactly what we're gonna do. Okay, time irrelevant here. We're just trying to get them brown. So I'll go about 5 minutes, 6 minutes maybe, and then I'll flip them 5 or 6 minutes. Then we'll pull them out for the next step. Once your chicken is nice and browned up, let's transfer that over to a plate. Keep the oil in the combi pan. And any little chicken bits that fell in there, that's fine. All right, let's set that off to the side. And it's time to put in our leeks. I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper to this. I've got a little garlic, onion, black pepper, sea salt combo here. Let's start getting some flavoring in, some spices in. Careful guys, that is super, super hot. All right, let's get this back into the combi and get these nice and tender. So just keep an eye on that, on those leeks that are now in the combi. I've lowered the temperature from 425 down to 400. Just had it really high for the chicken. And the chicken's out on a platter. The leeks are getting tender. And once they get good and tender, we're gonna bring those out. And well, I'll show you what's next. We're gonna start adding some liquids and all kinds of good stuff. For the next upcoming step, you're gonna need some wine. Dry white is usually what people like to use. I prefer this pink. It gives it a slightly sweet taste. And since we're using apples and other sweet ingredients here, I really like using this. It's inexpensive. I cook with it a lot. And we'll often replace white wine with this wine. Give it a try. I think you'll enjoy it. You'll need about a 1/4 cup of this or dry white, whatever you got. Not red though, don't use straight up red. That will not go very well with this dish. I've got 2 tablespoons of unsalted real butter. Been sitting out on the counter. We'll be using that here in a little while. Make sure you just let it soften up just a little bit before you use it. All right, those leeks are ready and they are hot and sizzly, and that's what we want. We're gonna add in about a 1/4 cup or so of dry white wine, or in my case, a little bit of this. And we want to stir that, and then we're going to get this right back into the combi again. And we want to cook this till the liquid is gone. So this was just to do a little deglaze, and that wine is going to come to a boil almost immediately when I get it back into the combi. All right, while we're evaporating that wine, I've got 1 cup of low sodium chicken broth ready to go. 1 cup, and I'm going to use a 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar. And that's all going in the pan as soon as the wine has been evaporated. To speed the process on evaporating the wine, I've switched over to sear saute. I've got it on H4, temperature 4, not 5. Let's go ahead and crank it up to 5. 5 will make it boil really fast. And for sear saute, you actually leave the door open on these. You can't close the door. So we can open it wide open. I like to just leave it cracked. So I've got the light on, and I just keep an eye on everything. It's going to boil up, and what I'm waiting for that is to basically become dry. Then I'm going to get my other ingredients in real quick. All right, idle hands and all. So while we're waiting, I always like to be doing something. Let's get 2 tablespoons all-purpose flour in a bowl, small bowl. And that butter that we've been letting come to room temperature, let's just drop that right in there. All right, if you ever made biscuits, you know what I'm about to do here. We're gonna cut the butter and flour. And for that, we're just gonna use a knife, a fork, and we're gonna press it in. Cut right through it like this. And you don't want that butter to be completely melted. You just want it to be near room temperature enough you can do this to it. So go ahead and just work that down. It's a little butter and flour mixture. Okay, so we just got a little crumbly, buttery, floury mess going on there. That's what we're after. Okay, most of the wine is gone. Add in your chicken broth. That was a cup of low sodium. Now we're gonna do a half a cup of apple cider vinegar. Love the smell of apple cider vinegar. We're looking good here. Never forget, this thing has been in an incredibly hot combi oven. Always use your gloves. Let's give that a good stir. All right, what you're doing here is basically making a gravy or a roux. So we're gonna take that flour and butter now and drop that right in and stir till it's dissolved. That is beautiful. Let's get those apples in. Give those a nice stir. My goodness, that smells good. And you guessed it, we're gonna get this chicken in there. Let's get our thighs, and what we want to do is nestle, press it right down in. It's obviously not going to go under the liquid, but press it down, get it near the bottom of the pan as you can. Beautiful. We're going to hit that with a little more of our salt and pepper, garlic, onion mixture. And we're going back into the combi. We're going to lower the temperature again, so we're going back to bake mode, 375 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. We'll use our temperature probe to check the chicken and make sure we're fully cooked. So we're just going to get it all reset up here. Power on. Switch the mode back up here to bake. Set our temperature, 375. And it's already preheated, so we're ready to put the chicken in. Time doesn't matter much. We're going to be really cooking by temperature. We'll just set it for 30, although that's kind of irrelevant. So we're double check everything. We're on bake. We're on 375, and we're good to go. In about 20, I'd say in 15 minutes, I'll go on ahead and grab my temperature probe and poke it right down into the bone and see how we're doing. Well, here we go. Right out of the Ninja Combi, our apple and leek chicken thighs. Look how beautiful they cooked. Man, I cannot wait to dig into this. Let's get it on the plate. All right, for this bite, I've got some chicken, leek, and apple all in the same bite. It's very hot. Here we go. That is exactly what I expected it to taste like. You get the little teeny bite from the apple cider vinegar, You got the sweetness from those delicious apples and the crisp from the leeks. Oh man, that is good. That is really good. I'm gonna enjoy this. What do you think we might serve on the side of this? I don't know, but I have some beans that I was thinking about. So if you want to see my review on these beans, make sure you click the link in the description, or just keep an eye on my channel. You know, just follow me, subscribe, whatever, and you'll see the review. So I cooked up some Serious Bean Company Dr. Pepper Sweet and a Bit Sassy Bacon Beans. That's the whole name. Anyway, I just did a whole review video on that. We're going to serve those on the side. I'll just give you a hint. They're pretty good beans. That's it. That's everything. Thanks for watching. Make sure you leave me some comments. We'll see you soon.